Oh, you guys paid with a 5 at the end, and then it gave you 4 yen back. So oops, sorry. So this is what it's
that's
total,
what
that's what you paid with, and that's your
That's what I was
change.
I totally was wondering what the hell that was. I'm like, what's this random 4 yen? Is that like a weird Isekai tax or something? Hey.
Oh. Hey, Matt, what's up?
It's Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Al, what's up?
Heard about there's a KOTOR event over at LucasArts. I'd like to go.
Okay, but did you get an invite or you just heard about it?
I just heard about it. I don't have email invite, written invite, nothing.
See, I got an invite. It was like hand delivered by like a dude in a Twi'lek or a Wookiee or one of those weird aliens.
Oh, come on. I'm the biggest Star Wars fan in this office. Anthony's got nothing on me. What? You know this. Look at all the shit over there on my desk. Come on, send me.
No. I don't even get to go, and I'm way more important than you are.
I've been here for almost fucking 3 years. Come on. I can do this.
You gotta build up the rep, man. You just need to get your name known, Mikhail.
It's Mike.
Whatever. Anyways, you just get your name out there, float it around, do a little bit of schmoozing and boozing, and then you'll get on like the cool kids list.
Yeah, you gotta do at least like 5 more top tier previews. At least.
5.
At least.
Yeah, man. Just build up your rep, Mickey. Work on it good.
Mike.
Ever.
So when does the mail guy write for us?
I have no idea.
Shigoto へ行きたくない学校なんかつまんないみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊びたいどこでも行っても同じだみんなで歌うんだみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊んだらどうだら One up show を見ましょう One up show で遊ぼう One up show わおすごい One up show やったよこれは One up show です
The Mayan calendar had only 360 days, and the remaining 5 were the unnamed days. The Maya believed that each year when the unnamed days arrived, the gates to the underworld would open.
Like, I know that you guys have played some of it before, but I actually haven't. I didn't get it. This is the first time I've ever seen anything but a trailer video, so I was pretty impressed.
I got to check it out once at E3. That was the original time when I got to play it. And there we did the underwater portions, where you're kind of Laura's swimming around underwater. I guess she's got like some sort of magical breathing powers of some sort, or maybe an air pack.
No. See, like I asked that when he was showing it. I'm like, wow, she can hold her breath for a really long time. And he's like, no. She puts her mask on when she goes in the water. She has like there's like a little tiny breathing tank on her back. He's all, yeah, it's high tech, man.
And then a couple of weeks ago, I got to go and play through the beginning level, the tutorial that's in the Burning Croft Manor. What do you think about the gun combat and the special attack in this?
Well, I thought the special, I like the way that it works and how, you have the little reticle that you have to time and get in there to get it off, and it's I find it a lot more appealing than the typical bullet time stuff that we've been seeing since like the Max Payne days.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that
over that.
Exactly, and the cool thing with this is that it's not just hitting like the special attack button and you do it. You actually have to do something. You have to pay attention and time it correctly.
Did they talk to you at all about the player tailoring stuff? It's actually, I think this is kind of the most unsung feature of the new game. I did read your most recent post on player tailoring.
Oh yeah.
And that really fascinated me because it seems to me that in the industry, it seems almost that people are taking the opposite tack, which is like, let's cut out anything that might be more complex to the user
and give them sort of a default state to go with that will reach the widest space. But this seems to turn that on its head a little bit.
Yeah, well, the philosophy was actually that it's impossible to achieve a wide base by sending out only a single play experience. That by giving players the ability to tailor their experience, either by making the enemies tougher, making Lara Croft tougher, giving them more time to work with some of their abilities to climb with the architecture. Also, what you can do is send out this sonar pulse, and it builds up this mathematical model in your PDA of the space, and then you can fly through it and find stuff that maybe you couldn't find before. So all these pieces were meant to make the game more accessible to more people, because they could not only tailor the difficulty if they found it difficult or less so, but they could tailor what they wanted to do. They could say, you know what, it's not that the combat's too hard for me, it's that I just want more of the puzzles and exploration. I just want to be bothered less by tigers attacking me and whatnot. But then again, you really can't come up with a single suite of puzzles that everyone is going to be able to have the just appropriate amount of challenge and success at the end. So that's why we put in the field assistance, where you can ask Lara for a hint, for an answer, anytime you want. And if we didn't do that, we couldn't have made the puzzles nearly as deep or as complex as they are. So it really was about broadening out the game experience and letting people tweak it to provide the most access to everybody, than to try and second guess some mythical large swath of players with a single experience.
The hint system he did tell me about, and this is kind of funny because I was playing through with the developer, right? They were sitting there, and this is one of the funny things about trying to play a game like this with the developer. So I would spend 15 minutes trying to figure out this puzzle, and the whole time I'd just be like, oh god, this guy must think I'm a total idiot. He knows how to solve this. Right. But then eventually, as I'm trying to figure out one of these puzzles, he points out that there's this hint system, and it's totally optional. You just, they don't pop up hints for you, but if you're stuck on a puzzle, you can get like up to 3 different levels of hints for each area. And it'll just be based on the room you're in. It'll be Laura making an observation about the room.
A lot of the hardcore audience, when they've heard about this feature, have been, it's been more controversial. But really, this is just a more powerful version of easy, medium, hard difficulty anyway, with a slant toward the kind of experience, not the difficulty of the experience. But at the same time, the one really, truly controversial piece is that people can't always necessarily be trusted to resist temptation. That one of the things that's really exciting about a game is to struggle with it and come back to it. One of the things that's cool about playing Braid is that you can't figure these things out, and then when you finally do, you're successful. And how well are you able to resist that temptation? But rather than trying to second guess that, again, trying to read 2 million people's minds, we felt it was better to provide that access for them and let people be the authors of their own experience.
I really like Legend, because it added a lot to the Tomb Raider franchise.
Fix the controls.
Fix the controls, yeah, that's a good way to put it. And then, but in this one, they seem to have added even more animations. Like, they took some cues from Assassin's Creed and Uncharted, it looks like. Because the way that she has a lot more fluid animations when she goes from pose to pose. And I really like kind of the free climbing areas. They're not really free climbing, because you can still see like the texture and the geometry, and it's like, oh, this is an area where she's going to animate like this when she's climbing sideways along a wall, But it looks really cool because she puts her hands on the right handholds and she uses her feet to steady her, and she wall jumps.
Yeah,
gotta love the wall jumping.
Jumps are cool. Love wall jumps.
Yep. And then she has this this grapple, and the grapple thing is really cool because it's actually it's physics based, just like the rest of the world. He's like, you can grapple a point, and then you could wrap it around something in order to spin it, or to push something off of something else.
So I guess the thing that I've noticed is that all the environments that you were shown and that I saw in some of the videos, and even the environments I saw, they were really great, really great level design. They looked a lot of fun, and the stuff I played was a lot of fun to just jump around in. Like Legends, it was really great for that reason. But it's funny that you mentioned Assassin's Creed, because I almost want Tomb Raider to evolve in some way and to become we were talking about the fact that there's no open environments in these games.
Right, yeah.
All the environments are just kind of these closed off areas, and you figure out how to navigate this area and solve this puzzle, and then you're done.
In the Mexico level, there's a part you actually get on a motorcycle and you drive down, very nicely cleaned out roadways towards different areas of the level. And it was nice because it made it feel like this open thing where you're going to this temple to grab this, you're going to this temple to grab this, and then you come back to solve a puzzle in the middle. It's like I say that I want these more open world and exploration things, but then I played Uncharted, and Uncharted is linear.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
point A to point B. It was just so much fun to play, and the characters were so memorable. Yeah, the Tomb Raider games have always had the set pieces, and from what we've seen so far, this is no different. It's going to have amazingly beautiful, awesome set pieces. Like the Kraken was really cool, I thought, too. That whole puzzle surrounding the Kraken looked like a lot of fun to solve. And he was saying that even moving back and forth across that room where the Kraken was, you could climb more than one way to get to where you needed to. It wasn't just like one set route.
I mean, I guess we're sounding a little down on it. It still looks like it's going to be a ton of fun to play.
Yeah. I have no watching the way Lara moves. She looks really, really fun to control. I mean, because I really enjoyed Legend. I'm still kind of bummed that I haven't had time to download and play Anniversary.
I'm the same exact way. That's weird.
Yeah, but and so this one I am totally looking forward to.
So she wanted Fancy Friday, but I was like, casual Thursday.
I like it. Good idea. Hey, it's Moron Mike. All right. Impressive.
Woo! I don't like him.
Nice.
Yay! Woo!
Wow, Moron Mike.
Good moves, Mike.
Surely you can afford a better shirt than that.
Wow.
That's a fancy shirt.
Looks nice.
I don't like its color.
Looking good.
Yeah! You're the best, Moron Mike.
Woo! I like it.
Nice.
Up the paw, please, sir.
Woo! It's the Moron Mike.
Hooray!
Yeah!
Woo!
What a hero!
Yeah! Woo!
Yay! Wow!
Nice.
Yeah! Oh, handsome.
Right. All right.
Yes.
Cody.
Right on.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That is not a flattering jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Wow.
Yeah!
Woohoo!
We're gonna need a ring to make this official.
I kill idiots like you for fun.
No one's even listening, you idiot.
Wow.
Brilliant is what it is.
Look, ain't ya?
Wow. Whew. Sure didn't hate it.
What did you guys think of the main quest overall?
The way they did conversations instead of cutscenes. And you hear the dialogue, you can zoom in on the people, but you can move your character, and I felt like I never was taken out of the game.
As peaceful and rustic a land as Bowerstone or Oakfield.
When it came up to the Crucible mission, the two guys at the door, I can't remember their name, but they wouldn't let me in because my rep needed 300 more points. So I'm trying to go through the story, and I reach this roadblock. It's like, nope, you can't go on. You need to increase your reps. So I was like, fuck. Okay, so I'll go back to the town, and I just stood there, and I just kept here's my trophy. I'm like, hey, hey, and I just stood there for 5-10 minutes, just trying to build up the rep, and then they're like, okay, now you can go into the town.
I kind of feel that there's a disconnect in open world RPGs between the main quest and the open worldness of it. Because there's always this hardcore pressure that's like, the world is going to end unless you do this. But, I'm going to go and mess around for 12 hours before I actually do it. But when they put that little bit of roadblock in, it was kind of like giving me permission to go and do this. Like, oh, well, I can't actually go on and do this section until this guy respects me enough or knows me enough to actually give me this mission. And it felt like that was my permission to engage in the open world thing, even though you don't need explicit permission at any time.
I felt that the roadblock you were talking about was more of a nudge, like, hey, you just got to this town, or who the hell are you? Like, go explore our world a little bit, show us who you are.
The map in general, it's terrible. Like, you can choose the regions, and you can choose the regions that you want to go to, but it only shows you like little kind of representative sections. I never got a sense of how the whole world is put together. Well, Bowerstone is near Bower Lake, of course, but is it to the west or the east? That kind of thing is really hard to tell.
I have to say that even though I'm usually a big map person, I liked the little gold path that I could choose. I turned it down to way subtle. I freed myself of the map.
I also don't like being reliant on the trail. I started enjoying the game more when I paid less attention to it. I don't like that the only way, if I go to a city and I want to get to a specific part of it, like, I kind of have to rely on the trail, like, being my quest guide. Because the cities are kind of large and the outdoor areas are kind of large.
When I go into a town and I'm looking for a weaponsmith or just a
or your
tailor
house.
Or my house.
It's really hard to find your house.
I just want to know where that is on my map.
And I like that it offers things to you that you can participate in, but that it's not absolutely necessary if you just want to cut to the chase. Part of the beauty of the game is that you're not necessarily missing out on a huge thing by not doing something like, if you don't have a kid in the game, so what? It's not like it's an integral part of the experience, but at the same time, if you want to do that stuff, you can.
So I married a dude. I had unprotected sex both times, and with the dude, I actually had a kid. So like, shit, this is kind of cramping my style. I actually sacrificed him anyways, and because I killed the father of my child, it said that my child was taken away by protective services. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I won't have a Fable II latchkey kid. I get married really fast. I take him to like crappy little shack in a gypsy camp, and I let them wait out there until I decide to sacrifice them in the pit of evil, basically.
So, I'm a guy, so how does pregnancy work when you're playing as a girl?
You know what? It's bizarrely magical, because even though my time clock said that we started having sex at 11:42 p.m., also it says you're pregnant, and like I have a crib and it's 12:10 p.m. So I'm like, wow, 9 months was compressed into like less than half an hour.
The one sort of problem I had with the controls, even though I felt the controls worked really well generally, is B is back, and it's also
cast magic.
Cast your magic spell on your newborn baby that I guess you can't kill, but my poor little baby is like has this much life.
Yeah, the very first time I played this for a preview, I actually did the same thing. I was trying to like untarget a prostitute, but telling her no. But I thought B would back out. But instead, I cast chaos. So every bum around me went absolutely crazy and like, ran around in circles a bunch of times. Like, shit. But then also right after I did that, I got the Pop Fearmonger achievement. I'm like, oh, okay, at least I got like an achievement out of this.
I went, super ultra goody good, and your dog gets lighter coat and he bounces around and gets really friendly, and people in the town love him and everything. What happens when you go super evil?
My dog has red eyes. Is nearly all black.
I know when I'm playing, like people walk up to him and pet him and like, oh, you're such a cute little dog. Does he like react differently to villagers and growl at him when they try to pet him or anything?
Well, going into certain towns, like people will actually go up to the dog and just kick it. The second they kicked him, I just wiped out the entire town.
There you go then, just fine. Give Oakfield a try. Nice doing business with you. Isn't that where please? Hello, you know I really look just a little What I'm itching for is it? I'll rip you a new one. Oh, sweetness.
I guess maybe I should train him more, because my dog is really dumb. He'll only put on treasure when I already see it. Like, I'll be standing in front of a treasure chest. All of a sudden, bing, treasure icon comes up and he digs his foot. I'm like, well, no shit, dumbass. Like, I'm standing 2 feet in front of it.
My dog
But
definitely
he's only like level 1 or 2 in like treasure hunting.
has been leveled up, and I have come to rely on his bark. Can your dog die? Because I know your dog gets injured, but I was always quick to to heal my die.
He always limps back to you, right?
Yeah, I don't think he can die, but he won't find treasure, and of course he won't attack if he's injured.
Can you not heal the dog? And
No,
just
no,
run
no.
off?
He'll always show up.
I think he always comes back to you.
Because I mean, you're going to pass a loading screen eventually, and
he'll
like
show
when
up
the level loads, he'll just be right there.
This is the thing I've really enjoyed about Fable 2, especially versus Fable 1, is that the way the clock in the game kind of encourages you to play it more real life. So I knew that I would have to go visit my family every couple days, or I knew that I had to go do a job within a certain time frame or finish a quest. And even the journeys that I was on, it tells you, you know, at first it seems like a gimmick, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna load for so long. It's actually representing 9 days in the game world or something.
Right.
But it was cool when you would take these long treks and then realize, oh, you know, I didn't make it back in time, or I did make it back in time. And so I did the jobs. I would break it up into a couple days. So I'd like do a little bit. I'd go out and do an adventure. I would go and visit my family. I would go back to my job. I am embarrassed to admit that I am a 5-star blacksmith and a 5-star woodcutter.
I mean, for the woodcutting thing, I'm only at 4 stars, but once I get up to, I think it's the 3rd tier, I'm making like almost 200 gold, like per every chop.
It is easy to make money, and I do feel like, hey, I'm making some cheddar to support my 2 families. But I wanted some kind of special thing.
I did think it would be cool, you know, if once you got to the 5th level blacksmith, you know, maybe you made some awesome sword or something like that, but it doesn't happen.
The combat I'm really enjoying, and it's reminding me a lot of Assassin's Creed in that it's like very simple and not many options you have at any given time. You just have a few, but there's a nice like rhythm to it, kind of going back and forth between the different guys
and the different abilities like shooting and then magic and then
right. And it took me a while to figure out how the magic worked, like the different levels of it. But yeah, I like and like you said, the time power as well. Like I just got that.
Each spell has the area and target effect, and for time, what I use,
teleports.
Yeah, there was a move in Fable 1 that I loved, was that sort of dash attack that puts you behind a character, like especially when you're fighting Wolverines. So it was actually, I used the time for that. I very rarely use it as that area slowing down.
See,
time.
like I did the opposite. Like I very rarely use the dash attack, and I always put the 2nd level time stop, and then I would like use that time stop to charge my whatever my like 4th or 5th level spell was, and then release that one. I thought I was gonna be like a guns, crossbow, sword user, but I ended up using that so much that I became like all covered in glowing blue veins and everything as a will user.
Yeah, I think whether you're fight mostly with melee, whether you're doing ranged or magic or combining all 3, like you're gonna enjoy yourself no matter which direction you go. I mean, pretty much everybody I've talked to plays it completely different than I do, and every single one of the other ways people play sounds incredibly fun.
I thought you actually lost literal experience when you die from what you have. That's just losing the orbs that you didn't collect at that scene, which I didn't realize. So I don't know how I feel about the whole like not dying thing. I mean, it does feel a little.
It was really cool.
Easy, but
me too.
But yeah,
I loved it because I felt that was another way that the game subtly, but in a pretty major design move, keeps you in the game.
Since the death is temporary in games. And like you just reload or whatever, but the scars are permanent, and it makes it's so weird because like you don't die, but the effect on your character, it is a permanent thing.
And it actually was a real incentive for me not to die, because I was thinking like, I don't want to get all scarred. You would think that when you don't die, you wouldn't stock up on potions, but because of the impact on my character building, I stocked up on potions even more so that I wouldn't have to, and I just thought that was phenomenal. This, I feel like, it's a real RPG, and it really sucks you into the world and makes you into your character and gives you all kinds of things that you can do with your character, and at the same time creates this well-imagined universe.
To me, I think just the single-player experience is so awesome and so much more focused than the original Fable was, and that, like you said, like I think this honestly is the realization of what the original Fable was supposed to be for the most part.
Hey, Scooter, I built up my rep. Everyone knows. Alice, where's Scooter?
You left hours ago.
For what?
The coder event?
But I built up my rep. Everyone knows who I am. I can cover the event.
Well, you're way late. Actually, you know what?
What's that?
I think it would help if you go cry about it in the corner.
That's kind of harsh, Alice.
I'm playing evil today.
I think Far Cry 2 makes a really great first impression.
Bloody idiot. Nobody follows the rules anymore. I told him the plane's gone, but they don't believe me. Everyone thinks the big planes are coming back. Who can say anymore?
What Far Cry does great, it does really great. And then what it doesn't do so great really bugs the shit out of me and pulls me out of what could be like a truly amazing game experience.
Like Assassin's Creed to me, it was like at the core, it's a great open world, interesting game, and there's just enough annoying about it that is like, man, why the fuck did they do that? But for me, at least, I still like it enough to keep on going.
In this game, the basic structure is that there's safe houses all over the world. You can always find a vehicle to use. You basically go, get a mission from one of your friends, and then there's a point on your map that you're trying to get to.
Every mission you do, your buddy always calls you and is like, there's an alternate way to do it.
I like the alternate.
No, so do I. I always do the alternate way, but I'm saying where it gets repetitive is that like, after every time you do the alternate way, your buddy always gets caught. Yeah, and it's like you always gotta go bail him out.
Start mission, do the buddy version, finish actual mission, buddy always gets caught. That gets kind of repetitive, but I still like the actual design of what you do in the missions and the firefight enough for it to not bother me as much.
I did a mission with a buddy. It sucked because I thought we were down, and then like he got shot, and it was like you can save him, but you have to have one of those med things.
Oh,
and I
you were
didn't.
out?
And I didn't. So then like because I didn't, and the guy just grabbed my pistol and pulled it to his chin and was like, "Do it, please."
See, I had one where I had a bunch of syringes left. I had like maybe 4, and I kept stabbing.
Yeah, and he killed him.
Yeah, I killed him.
I had that happen too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well.
Wow,
like,
shit.
You OD'd him. Yeah, he kept doing it. And he wouldn't get up, so he'd keep doing it. And then eventually he was just like, having buddies is actually worth it, like building a history with them. Because like other games, when you die, it's just like you die and you restart from checkpoint. But it was really cool that if you manage to like keep a buddy in good terms with you, they'll come and like save you when you get down.
We're okay for now. You've got time to get a band-aid on that gaping wound of yours. Stay low, there's a sniper out there.
Some of the missions are really awesome. Like the one that sticks out to me was this one where I had to go get the ring from the king and give it to the prince. And
which
like,
that's a side mission because the original mission is simply find gold, which I think is a
right. Going to the dude's castle
and
attacking the castle. Like I busted in. I had some Molotov cocktails, so I set the entire like front part of it on fire, and then busted up and killed the entire royal guard. Killed the king, took his ring with my machete.
I love too how they always try and like talk you out of whatever you're about to do to them before they do it, and then if you like try and leave them, they'll always try and pull out a pistol and get you.
Which makes it all the better when I pull out my flare gun. And I don't use a gun or like a knife. I use a flare to kill my target.
Game over, asshole!
Hey, goed. Kom help mij met die mox. Ik moet hier lie. Ik geloof het niet.
I love the machete in the game because if you hold down the button, you can get them to do like the kill move on them.
Yeah, when they're on the ground,
looks so
you
cool.
stab them in the chest.
Yeah.
That game is pretty visceral like that as far as like the stabbing in the chest and stuff. You'll have to like save yourself from a critical wound, and he'll be like straightening out his wrist and pulling his fingers together.
It's cool when you have like pliers and you're pulling bullets out.
The most macho thing I saw your guy do to heal critical wound is take a bullet out with his teeth.
It's in the driving that most of my frustration comes. There are times, literally, where I'm driving down a street, and off in the distance on some other road, or like way far down the road that I'm on, I see another car driving, and I'm like, oh shit, this means that I'm gonna have to fight these fuckers. I drive like 100 yards, and then I have to stop, take out like 3 or 4 guys, go grab all the health kits that are around, go grab the ammo, get back in my car, drive another 100 yards, and then repeat, you know, over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's like basically what the game is like.
The length of the game felt like it was like 3 times longer than it should have been, and it was always artificially extended because of all that driving to point A to B. It took like 3 times longer than it should have because you were constantly stopping to fight guys. Like, it's like you said, if it happened like maybe like 30% of the time that it happened, it would be totally cool. Maybe I sound spoiled or something, but like the thing I wanted more than anything was like a fast travel system.
Yeah.
I never saw like a tutorial on how to use buses or anything like that. I only knew because I talked to Scooter and he was like, oh, you can use buses, but they only take you to like the 4 corners of the map.
Right.
It's almost like I wanted like something like Oblivion. Like if I've explored it once, let me go back.
If the world was as interesting, the travel time would annoy me a lot more.
I want a fast travel, but it's only because of how often I'm stopped while I'm driving. If they had just cut down the number of encounters, like I don't want the spaces to be empty. I like that they're as densely populated as they are, but it's just so annoying that everyone hates me. Unless I'm walking into a room with my buddy or like people giving me a mission, everyone hates me.
Come on, man, move it! I get something good. Fighting.
I wanted a way to put away my gun so that I could like appear to be less lethal and thus have people like not want to kill me.
I mean,
and that's not something you can do in the game. I love the world. It organically switches between types of terrain. Like, you know, you'll be in something that looks like savanna, and then you go to the jungle. In the jungle. I don't know about you guys, but I turned the music off when I was playing, and so then at that point it felt like really immersive. Like,
yeah, because you can't tell when enemies are attacking you because
you can't get that
the fast music doesn't come on.
That's right. I played with the intro with the music on, and I thought it was actually really good. But once I started getting into it and realizing, like, yeah, dude, this is like the type of game I want, where everything's from first person. I was into them trying to be really immersive with it, so I decided that I turned the music off, and it turned out to be a really fun way to play it.
This game has some of like the most advanced shadows like of the game, any game I've seen. Like you can tell like they really pushed like the 360's ability to like output shadows the way they did, like because it looks awesome. But it looks awesome to the point where like anytime it was like dusk, like I guess maybe I should have tried to like doing my brightness better, but like for me it was like it looked realistic to me, so I didn't think to do like change my brightness. So I just go to sleep every time. I was like, fuck, it's dusk. I'm not gonna be able to see shit when I'm driving.
My favorite lighting like eye-candy moment is like sleeping in a safe house that might be in like the jungle and waking when it's dawn and seeing all like the rays filtering through like the trees and shit. Like, oh man, I'm in friggin' Africa, and then shit, guys shooting at me now. All right, back to the game part, but.
For every mechanic they did right, like the shadows and stuff look really rad, and like the driving works really well. But it's like then there's like the things like the weapon degradation. It's like nobody in Africa apparently knows how to take care of a weapon. It's like they take it out every day, and their idea of cleaning is like pouring water and letting it air dry so that it rusts or something like that.
I don't mind that there are rusty weapons in the game. I just wish it wasn't 100% of the weapons that you pull off people.
Or I think the game is reinforcing that like you should use clean guns from the arms dealer, because which is what I learned. I eventually learned that like every time I'm going on a mission, I should restock the arms dealer to make sure all my gear is clean. I don't mind that the guns are rusty, but I hate the fact that they only degrade when you use them, because I've never seen an enemy guy had a gun jam or anything. They're always on full auto blast, or they would hit me normal, and when I pick up the same gun that the guy was using, all of a sudden, oh shit, blowback, like the shotgun shell like explodes my face.
For me, like the whole weapon degradation thing is like just an artificial way for them to force you to spend your diamonds on something. Before I go do a mission, I'll go to the arms dealer, but it's like, fuck, I don't want to do that. I already got a gun on my back.
And it is an awesome game, and I really feel like anyone who likes shooters should at least give it a shot, because it does some things that other shooters haven't done right.
That other shooters would do a lot to learn.
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot to learn from this game.
Depending on how you feel about Assassin's Creed, but yeah, I think it is like the most apropos thing that there's
there's a really, really fucking good game underneath it. There's just enough that might put off some people, but for people like me, I am able to get overcome those. Going like, you know what? I like it a lot.
I pretty much just want it to be a little bit more RPG, a little bit less first-person shooter.
As I like to call it, GTA Mogadishu Edition.
Yeah, it's like a GTA game from first-person perspective in a really interesting environment. I just wish the number of encounters was cut down a little bit, and that there were a few people in the world besides just my buddies. And I appreciate the buddy system, but I wish there were a few more people in the world that were neutral or my friends.
I think they're gone, dead, whatever. I'm gonna check them for gear. I'll see you later at Mike's, all right?
Scooter! Hey, you left without me.
Oh, sorry, Mick.
It's
here,
Mike.
Want a poster? Here you go. Yay! Now your day is complete.
Alright, well. Beggars can't be choosers. Shit. I'm not mad at you, Mr. Stormtrooper. Sorry.